Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singapour.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, World Rugby ignores island nations. Civil servants told service, not politics. And revenge, porn and fake news fill Suva discussion.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The death of Pacific Rugby is on the horizon. Should the proposed new 12-team World League not include any of the Pacific teams, as reported in New Zealand? World Rugby is in discussions to form a 12-team World League from 2020. Nations such as New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, USA, Japan and the Six Nations would be invited to join the Rugby Championship, but not the Pacific Island nations. That would mean no room for our own flying Fijians, who only last year stunned France and are ranked 9th in the world. Melly Tavanga with this report.
The power of money over the passion of rugby should be opposed at all levels, and the island unions need to stand up and take World Rugby head-on to reconsider Fiji, Samoa and Tonga as part of the World League, says former Manu Samoa international Daniel Leo. Speaking exclusively to FBC Sports from Europe, Leo says if plans to exclude Fiji, Samoa and Tonga from the new competition continue, the island teams should boycott this year's Rugby World Cup and pull our teams out of the World 7 circuit.
We need the Fijian Rugby Union, the Tongan Rugby Unions to really stand up and fight on behalf of the players and the fans and what's best for rugby in those countries. We can't take a timid approach here. We need to be strong, and we need to step up to them, and fight our corner.
Leo, who is also the player welfare manager for Pacific players based in Europe, is considering the next course of action in the fight against the big guns of World Rugby.
We provide nearly 30% of all the professional players in the game. So we do have strength, but that's our leverage, that's our point of leverage, and we've got to be able to mobilise ourselves to be able to use that leverage. And whether that means boycotting the Rugby World Cup in 6 months if this proposal's to go through, or pulling our teams out of the Sevens circuit.
Pacific Islands Players Association Chief Executive Aidan Clark says it will be the death of Pacific Island rugby if the proposed competition goes ahead.
Understand that collective commercial rights would bring more money to the game. It's, from our perspective, the players, it's more about making sure that it's a competition that recognises everyone. For us as Pacific Islands, that means inclusion or the very least a meaningful pathway to be part of such competition. At the moment, from the information that we've received, that's definitely not the case for the next 12 years.
Clark says young players in the Pacific will now start taking a club before country approach, as the island teams would more or less have no future on the world stage.
We know that league is on a bit of a rise through the Pacific, but really the conversation is more about what will young rugby players choose to do now in terms of what contracts they take with their clubs.
PIP has confirmed that over 700 Pacific Island players are currently playing professional rugby. Melly Tavanga, FBC Sports.
We now join Melly Tavanga live. Melly, this move from World Rugby and the big nations has surely created ripples around the world. Has the Fiji Rugby Union said anything to date?
Jackie, the Fiji Rugby Union says it won't comment on the matter until they get an official correspondence from World Rugby. This news, which came out yesterday via New Zealand media, has been criticized by many former internationals. So most have been vocal about the treatment of the Pacific nations who are being used as a farm of players for bigger nations. So the only hope now is for this competition, for this proposed competition, to remain just that. Jackie.
Providing quality service to the people should not be impacted by your political affiliation. This is the message from Infrastructure Minister Choneo Sumate while engaging civil servants to a Talanoa session in Lambasa. Ali Kimbia has more.
Speaking to civil servants in Lambasa, the minister reminded them that the government will not stop anyone from supporting their preferred political party, But when it comes to serving Fijians, it should be done with dignity and honor.
We must place the people of this country on a pedestal above us and we look up to them. We do not put them below us and look down at them. We put them on a pedestal, raise them up and tell ourselves it is our job to look up to them and provide them the service that they need.
Tony Usamati says politics should be brushed aside as delivering for all Fijians should be paramount.
Half dead means you walk in your broke dope or too much whatever, you spend half your time sitting down doing nothing. You must have that energy.
Usamati also stated that civil servants play an important role in ensuring the government machineries are able to provide the much-needed services to all Fijians. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Fiji Museum believes further assessment needs to be carried out to substantiate the claims made by the Suvavo villagers from Lami that the land given for the construction of proposed Indian embassy is an ancient burial ground. The museum director today revealed their staff discovered archaeological remnants in the form of pottery shards over a decade ago. However, no further investigations were carried out. Earlier this week, the Suvavo villagers submitted their petition claiming the land as part of their ancient burial grounds. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Fiji Museum says the specified lot at the Botanical Garden has archaeological, historical and natural heritage attributes.
Allow us to do an archaeological impact assessment on the site, like any other development that happens around the country. This is in alignment to the environmental impact assessment that's normally conducted. So with that archaeological impact assessment, we can conduct unearthing and digging and of course investigation of the site itself.
However, the Lands Minister has stressed again that the proposed embassy will not be built on the Suva Botanical Garden.
We are not going to touch any plant on the actual botanical gardens. It is all going to be on the other side of the road. And if you take a drive there to that particular lot, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's idle land. Nothing is it's not being maintained well. Bushes is growing there.
He also says there are no records that the proposed site used to be an ancient burial ground.
Not at all. We have looked at our plans, we have looked at how that land came about, and we have dug through our files, and we have gone through basically all of it, and none of those plans show that there was any burial ground at that particular place.
Meanwhile, Local Government Ministry Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe says the Department of Town and Country Planning is now waiting for the submissions from the Suva City Council. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Fiji's digital engagement and mobilization has expanded over the past few years. During a Media Democracy and Digital Age conference in Suva today, the issue of cyberbullying, revenge porn and fake news flooding social media were discussed with youth groups. Kelly Vavala reports.
With the increase of digital activities nowadays, questions regarding various issues surrounding social media were raised during the conference.
Exposed Forum, Chat Fiji. Now these groups have overwhelmingly negative news against government. Very, very negative. In fact, I mean, Kanavu is being sold to China, according to them.
What are some recommended controls that should be enforced, maybe should be enforced in Fiji so that we do not use media in a negative way?
Do you think there should be a need for also media people to transition with the ongoing rise of social media in a way that it does not lose the attention of these young people?
USB researcher Chopeta Rai says Facebook is a popular social site and studies have shown that more young people are online.
The much younger audiences are moving to social networking sites that have less writing. So it's quite, I mean, it's interesting, but certain people who are in the education sector find this very disturbing.
Lawyer Richard Naidu also spoke on the legal framework aspect.
When stuff is not ordinarily available in the mainstream media, it goes to social media. And some people are anonymous bloggers, some people have anonymous accounts on Facebook or Twitter.
The conference is part of the Valuing Voices program, Digital Dialogue and Citizen Stories aimed at advancing rights and freedom. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Still to come, fate of Nikolic yacht with the court. And FMPF recovers over $3 million through penalty waiver. Details after the break.
ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Hoya uvasit sai sa Ilambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Guya Dr. Meli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere nawaluan.
Na vengo fani na tao nyo singa toka, kito ndo talita ka ng Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
The Suva High Court will rule in the next 10 days on whether the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services will be allowed to sell the yacht Shenanigans involved in the case against John Nikolic. The court will also rule whether the FRCS will also keep the $30,000 in undeclared currency found. Catherine Krishna reports.
John Nikolic's lawyer told the court the FRCS summons was not done properly. The defense also argued that according to the law, the seizure should have been made in the presence of the yacht's master. Nikolic's lawyer also told the court that his client was not served a notice of the seizure and that the case had been called twice earlier, which saw the absence of the defense counsel. The FRCS lawyer then sought orders from the court for the disposal of the vessel and $30,000. The judge is expected to rule on these applications in 10 days and will notify both parties if he plans to deliver it earlier. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
A bail hearing for a 24-year-old Canadian national facing drug-related charges will be called later this month. Joshua Aziz Rahman is charged with 1 count of unlawful possession of illicit drugs. It's alleged on February 14th, a police raid found 39 bars of a white substance weighing 39.5 kilograms at his home in Thambati. The bars later tested positive for cocaine with an estimated value of $31 million. The defense today applied for bail, but the prosecution strongly objected. The case will be recalled on March 20th. The Fiji National Provident Fund has recovered over $3 million through their penalty waiver. Chief Executive Chochi Koroi says 499 employers cleared $3.25 million between September and December last year. The fund was able to recover part of the debt through investigation and compliance checks, which also resulted in some organizations clearing their dues from past years. He says a substantial amount was also recovered from real estate agents.
Some of them are quite huge debts, like maybe I know of a company that has cleared close to $500,000 in debt.
Support from family and the community is an integral part of life for people with disabilities. This has been the topic of discussion during the Pacific Disability Forum conference in Nandi. Philippe Naikaso reports this continues to be a challenge faced by many with disabilities.
People with disabilities are often seen as a burden by some families, but the Pacific Disability Forum Chief Executive thinks otherwise. Setareki Madanawai believes these people with special needs can also contribute to the family.
I think that's why the family support is critical, so that persons with disabilities are part of that family. They're supported in whatever way they should be, so that they become contributing members of their family and their society.
The rights of these people should also be protected to ensure they are not left behind.
So the family is there to support them, but they always have to keep in mind that person with disability, he or she has a right to raise up his or her voice and be able to work, to go to school, but again, the role of the family is very much crucial to the life of a person with disability.
Because I believe that if people with disabilities who can be trained and engage in income-generating projects, they can be supported that way as a form of livelihood for them.
The two-day conference saw some fruitful discussions in favor of persons with disabilities. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Child Toll-Free Helpline 1325 is now more developed with more services on offer. Managed by Medical Services Pacific, the service is now a one-stop shop providing online counselling and access to assistance in real time. Manager Fanny Fitelli says with the introduction of the mascot Charlie last year, the toll-free helpline has gained a lot more recognition.
Mostly people reporting child neglect or children on the streets or someone's getting abused, and as soon as the call or the details are identified, the counsellor then puts the caller on hold, calls the nearest police station, police post, or the department, the social welfare officer on call in that area.
Coming up in sports, FNRL to name squad for Pacific Games, but first, Kelly is here now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. ANZ partners with Olotho to drive savings culture across Fiji. And in growing Fiji, small and medium enterprises awarded. Stay with us.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Jenny Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Youth leaders across Fiji will benefit from a new partnership between ANZ and Olotho to deliver money-minded and business basics, ANZ's flagship financial literacy program. Olotho, which means New Life, empowers young Pacific leaders to work for positive change in their communities. ANZ Fiji country head Sadminam says as part of the initial 3-year partnership, ANZ will provide Olotho with training and accreditation to deliver both money-minded and business basics. Minam says these programs have been successful in improving financial literacy. Around 12,000 people have already taken part in Money-Minded. Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the trading world.
China's economy and global trade concerns continue to weigh on investor sentiment. US President Donald Trump yesterday fueled concerns over trade talks, warning that he could walk away from a trade deal with China if it were not good enough. Meanwhile, stronger than expected US GDP data pushed the dollar up. The US economy cooled by less than expected last quarter. The 2.6% annualized rate of gains in GDP perhaps suggests that growth could be stronger for longer as the Federal Reserve takes a patient approach to interest rates. And in Australia, their home prices continued their long slide in February as credit conditions stayed painfully tight. The Reserve Bank of Australia is concerned that any further steep drop in house prices could undermine household wealth and spending. And that's all the latest from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Looking at the exchange rates as they were set this morning, the Fijian dollar rose against the Aussie and the Kiwi dollars again today and showed a gain against the Japanese yen as well, but slipped against the other currencies we cover. Taking a look at the commodities prices, oil remained on the rise at over $57 per barrel. Gold was down $5 at $1,313 an ounce, and silver closed down at $15.60 per ounce. The Fiji Development Bank's National Small and Medium Enterprise Awards is a building block for the wealth that the Fijian government has set out to achieve. Major General retired George Kondrote made this statement while officiating as chief guest at the event. Kondrote says the SMEs are a catalyst for poverty alleviation and economic development. The president presented the awards to a total of 12 recipients, and he was also joined by FDB's Board of Directors Chairman Robert Lyon.
As your head of state, it is my responsibility to remind our fellow Fijians that growth must be diverse and that development must achieve social equity and environmental sustainability.
And that's a wrap from the Business Desk for tonight. Jamie joins you now with all the very latest in sports.
Thanks and good evening in sports tonight. Modenadangi named the 13th player for Vegas, and more opposition on the proposed World League. Details after the break.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways Sevens coach Gareth Baber has taken a smaller gamble and named Sevoloni Modenedangi as his 13th player for the Las Vegas tournament, which starts tomorrow. Still serving a suspension, Modenedangi will not be able to feature in any of the pool games. However, it's not all gloom for Modenedangi's household, as his brother Isor Tambu has been named in the 12-member squad and should make his international debut tomorrow. There are no major surprises in the side, with Baber sticking with a tried and tested team in the quest for the Vegas title. Bai FC defeated Samoa's Kiwi FC 5-1 in its deciding match in Vanuatu this afternoon. A goal each from Malakai Tiwa, Sitiveni Davuilangi and Abu Zahid, ensuring a comfortable 3-1 lead for the men in black at half-time. Another from Daryl Kakasi and a second from Abu Zahid in the second spell then sealed the victory. Ba now awaits the outcome of the match between Eriko Golden Star and Team Wellington tonight, which will determine whether they qualify for the quarterfinals or not. A Team Wellington victory is what they'll be hoping for. Fiji National Rugby League Nines coach Vulaono Ndakuitonga will be announcing his final 20-member squad for the Pacific Games in Samoa on Monday, following Vodafone Cup matches this weekend. Ndakuitonga says the games this Saturday will be the players' final testing ground. Koroi Tandulala reports.
The league players will be under close scrutiny during the Vodafone Cup, as the event will be used as a basis for selection.
Participating in the Vodafone Cup is very important because it builds, the combination. They've got those individual talent, but what we want all those to add in with the other players so that we can have a very good team.
These players will need to put their heart out in impressing the selectors.
Because what I told them was that there will be no second chance. For this is Team Fiji, and that is the image of the countries there. So I told them, when you are there, make sure that you do everything according to what is wanted.
The Fiji National Rugby League Vodafone Cup will continue tomorrow in Suva. Koroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
As mentioned at the start of the bulletin, there are fears the new World League could be the death of Pacific Island rugby. However, in addition to the shock exclusion of Fiji, Samoa and Tonga, there are a number of other concerns being raised regarding the proposed competition. The Fiji Islands Baseball and Softball Association is hopeful baseball will be added to the 2027 Pacific Games. Development Officer Inoke Niumbalavu says they've drafted a plan with the help of JICA to present to the Pacific Games Committee. He adds they will start consulting with relevant authorities about their proposition.
For them to help on that, definitely we'll be talking to stakeholders that are going to be bidding for the game. Talk to the whole Pacific Games Council, maybe those that are involved with the Pacific Games here at Fastenal, Sports Council, the Ministry of Sports. So all the stakeholders, for them just to have a listen that we have a plan, and we would really like baseball, and if possible softball also to be part of the game.
Crusaders coach Scott Robinson hasn't ruled out joining forces with his assistant Ronan O'Gara should he take over from Steve Hansen after this year's Rugby World Cup. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and the new media. Take a look at the OnePlus 5G prototype. That's coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ से जैसे फ्रेंडी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
In new media, OnePlus has a 5G phone at Mobile World Congress, but it's a total mystery. The 5G prototype is obscured with only the screen showing, but the idea is to see what its 5G capabilities are. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's Friday and yay to the weekend. It's time to relax and be stressed less. Well, the weather today was quite steamy, but clouds picked up by afternoon. Heavy showers were also in the picture. Checking the west out for today, totally amazing bright sunny spells throughout. Eastwards from Pekhava to Suva, showers and cloudy periods with more showers in store for tonight. And up north, cloudy skies with showers also expected. At sea, it's quite rough as southeast winds will gust 20 to 25 knots. For the tides, high tide at 3:56 a.m. with low tide at 9:47 a.m. Sunrise at 6:05. For tomorrow, it won't be as perfect as light showers will slide in. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi and Ba will be at 33 degrees, quite hot. And looking further on to Sunday, a gorgeous day is lined up, so have all the fun you can. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think the Fiji Sevens team can win the Las Vegas tournament?
For sure, Fiji will win Las Vegas. They have what it takes to win tournaments. With a right state of mind and fitness, they can achieve anything.
Definitely, they'll win the Las Vegas Sevens because I have faith in them. And since the coaches told them to create chaos, so yes, for sure, they'll be creating chaos this weekend.
Yes, because our team is good and we trust in our team. They'll win the Las Vegas Sevens because I believe in our Fiji team, especially to the team members and our Fiji coach.
Yes, tomorrow they're going to win because we serve one Almighty God. Everything is in control by Him.
I think they can do it. They just have to believe in themselves and Vilo money.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, World Rugby ignores island nations, civil servants told service not politics, and revenge porn and fake news fills Suva discussion. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, do you think there should be more suicide prevention services available in the country? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, the famous sleeping giant in Nandi, sent in by Maba Vuniwai. As the famous saying goes, never measure the height of a mountain until you have reached the top. Then you will see how low it was. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
Bula, nevang go malakai leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa, ya untuk talita ina warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Gue do tumeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere naluan.
Nevang go fane na tao no singa toka, kita untuk talita kina Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Bula FM, namban dua na sere.